T.I.'s worst nightmare might be closer than anyone thought. After years of warning his son, King Harris, to slow down before he threw away his whole future, there's now real talk that a judge could actually hit him with a 5-year prison sentence. 5 years behind bars. And the craziest part, that's exactly what T.I. predicted back in 2022 if King didn't switch up his ways. And honestly, nobody can say they're shocked if you've been keeping up with King. The warning signs were all over the place. From reckless driving to that viral Waffle House meltdown to flashing guns in music videos like it was normal. King's been stacking trouble like trophies. But the arrest footage from 2024 really showed how deep he'd gotten. He almost slammed into a police car. Music blasting, gun sitting on his hip, and that old 2022 warrant finally caught up to him. It was like every bad choice he ever made came back to hit him all at once. No running from it this time. What made it even heavier was the timing. Just weeks after that arrest, King had stepped into fatherhood. He was on Instagram posting about his newborn, celebrating becoming a dad, even dropping a song called Dear Son, acting like he was ready to step into a new chapter. But instead of settling into family life, he's now staring at a courtroom that could take him away for half a decade. So, how did King Harris go from being the son of a hip-hop legend to possibly facing 5 years locked up? The story behind it is way messier than people think. And it all started back in October 2024. The night King officially crashed out, pulling out of a gas station in his BMW and nearly smashing straight into a cop car. The moment the cops walked up, it was already game over. First thing they caught was the smell of weed. Then their eyes locked on the gun strapped right to King's hip. At that point, they didn't need much else. He was going in, no questions asked. But when they ran his name, the whole situation flipped from bad to worse. That 2022 warrant he thought was behind him. Yet it was still wide open, overstep speeding, driving with a suspended license, a DUI. And instead of facing it back then, he ducked court and let it sit, just waiting to come back and haunt him. And in 2024, it finally did. The arrest footage that leaked online, first on Badge Chronicles, then splashed all over Vlad TV, was almost half an hour long. And it's crazy to watch. You see the officers pull him out the car, strip the gun off his waist, cuff him, search him down, and toss him in the back like it was nothing. King wasn't wilding out, but you could tell he was heated. That look said it all. He knew he had played himself, and there was no smooth talking his way out this time. The cameras caught everything. Every second of him being pulled out, cuffed up, and loaded into that patrol car with the internet eating it up. One cop even admitted later that King kept it calm and respectful the whole time, which is rare in a scene like that. But none of that mattered. He still ended up locked inside Dalb County before getting transferred to Pickens. Just like that, the kid who was flexing heavy on Instagram days before was now sitting in a cold jail cell with the world watching. And the sting, it hits harder because I already saw this coming. Back in 2022, when King was first spiraling, Tip jumped on Instagram and laid it out plain. If his son didn't slow down, prison was the only road ahead. And he wasn't talking as just a worried dad. He was talking as a man who's lived that life and knew exactly how it ends. Taiwan said it plain. Time is going to be his teacher. And now that teacher just showed up dressed like a 5-year prison sentence. When clips of King's arrest started flooding timelines, fans immediately dragged up that old video of Tip warning him. The comments were wild. Some said, "See, he spoke it into existence," while others felt bad, pointing out how painful it must be for a father to literally watch his own warning come true in real time. Either way, the internet wouldn't let it go. Everybody agreed to "I saw the storm coming," but King just didn't listen. And King ignoring advice, that's been the pattern. Let's take it back to the Waffle House fiasco in 2022. The moment a lot of people first started side-eyeing him heavy. A video went viral of King going off on the Waffle House staff, screaming like he had something to prove. He was barking at workers trying to flex, but instead of looking tough, he came off entitled and reckless. The clip embarrassed everybody. And even I couldn't spin that one. Tip went live afterwards, sounding straight up confused, saying he had no idea why his son would even waste time arguing with a short-order cook. Like, what was the point? He couldn't understand why King felt the need to match that kind of energy at all. But if the Waffle House meltdown wasn't enough, things only got messier with the whole gun situation. Remember that viral clip with King and Boozy's son, Tutty Raw? They were shooting a music video, but instead of focusing on bars and beats, the set looked more like a trap house with guns everywhere. That's when the OGs had to step in. The camera caught it all. Ty and Boozy checking their sons, telling them straight up it wasn't the move. You can even hear Tip saying, "Why you even doing guns when you got girls right here?" It was clear the dads were trying to save their kids from themselves, but King, he wasn't getting the message. That love moment quickly flipped into a whole lecture. T.I. sat King down and started breaking it down piece by piece. One wrong move with a gun, one bag of the wrong stuff around, and boom, your whole future's gone. What's crazy is Tip wasn't even coming down hard on them. He was giving his son the exact blueprint to dodge the same mistakes he had already lived through. And the best part? The whole talk is on camera. Ty and Boozy side by side giving their sons the real game about how flashing guns in music videos is nothing but a one-way ticket to jail. Fans actually applauded the dads for that moment. People were like, finally, some rappers showing their kids the right way instead of letting them spiral. It felt refreshing to see two legends trying to guide the next generation instead of watching them crash out. But the problem, King wasn't truly tuned in. You could tell he heard the lecture, but the message didn't stick. He was nodding along, but his actions kept showing he wasn't absorbing a thing. And the part that really had fans side-eyeing him wasn't just his videos or his short temper. It was his personal life. The internet lit up when he popped out with a baby mama that instantly had people talking. The mother of his child, who goes by Big Nana, became a whole topic online because of rumors about her being much older than King. And let's be real, the internet had no chill. Some folks swore she was only with him for the money, while others called her a groupie looking to secure a check. But King, he didn't care one bit. He doubled down on the relationship, leaned all the way in, and went public with it. He threw her a full baby shower, showed off the pregnancy, and when their son was born in November 2024, he was bragging nonstop like it was the best chapter of his life. There are clips of King all smiles, celebrating with Big Nana like life couldn't get any sweeter. And not long after, he was online proudly talking about his newborn son. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, pouring his heart out about stepping into fatherhood. And he captioned his post with November 5th, 8:09 a.m. "Welcome, King Jr. Time to take over." That's what King proudly posted when his son was born. And for a split second, it looked like maybe he was ready to flip the script. Fatherhood had people thinking it might finally humble him, like this was his chance to settle down and focus on something real. But of course, the timing couldn't have been messier because while King was holding his newborn and posting like a proud dad, that arrest video was going viral all over the internet, reminding everyone that trouble was already knocking at his door. And the truth, nobody was shocked. Fans had been saying for years that King's reckless moves would catch up to him sooner or later. And now it was playing out exactly how they predicted. If the judge really does drop a 5-year sentence on him, don't expect to see T angry. Expect to see him hurt because, yeah, he warned his son. Yeah, he gave him all the game and guidance he could, but when it's your child chained up in a courtroom, that pain cuts deeper than anything else. If you've ever seen their podcast together, you already know the bond between father and son is strong, which is why this would crush Tip even more. Watching King face years away right after becoming a father himself, it's the type of heartbreak that no amount of fame or money can shield you from. And let's be real, it's not just going to hurt emotionally, and it's going to hit T.I.'s image too. People already drag him online saying he failed as a father, claiming that all the wealth, influence, and wisdom in the world still couldn't stop his son from spiraling. If King actually gets that sentence, those voices are only going to get louder, tearing down the OG dad image that T.I. built up for himself. But at the end of the day, one thing Tip has always made clear: no matter how messy it gets, no matter how many mistakes King makes, he's going to love his son through it all. That loyalty is unshakable, even with the whole world watching. So no matter how bad things get, everybody knows Tip is going to be right there, like front row in that courtroom standing by his son. You know what I'm saying? Kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion, then I think, Because I tell you what, I have the greatest, most extensive family photo album. I can document and I can go back to when King was Eris's age. I can go back to when Major was my granddaughter's age. And of course, once the arrest footage and court updates started circulating, the internet lit up with reactions. The takes were all over the place. Some people clowning, others weirdly impressed, and a few genuinely hoping King finally wakes up and pulls it together. One fan even said, "King is enjoying every minute. He knows he might go viral. He knows the cameras are on him." And honestly, you could see it in the video. Even while he was being cuffed, King stayed calm, almost too calm. Like he was aware it was just another clip for the blogs to eat up. Then came the comments crowning this as his so-called street cred moment. Somebody wrote that man finally got his street cred he'd been telling y'all he outside. And that's where things start looking twisted, because instead of focusing on raising his newborn, folks think King is chasing a jail record just to prove he's real. But it wasn't all negativity. Some fans actually tried to throw him a little grace. One person wrote, "He going to be fine? Ever since his son was born, he's been doing better. I'm wishing him blessings." They even pointed out how he kept it respectful and composed through the whole arrest. That's the flip side. People hoping fatherhood might finally ground him, even if doing time ends up being part of the lesson he has to learn. What makes King's case even wilder is how it puts a spotlight on the whole celebrity kid lifestyle. Growing up with fame, money, and a legendary last name doesn't mean you're safe from the law. And in some ways, it makes the fall even harder to watch. King had every resource right at his fingertips. Private schools, luxury cars, connections in the industry. But instead of coasting on that privilege, he chose to test the streets like he had something to prove. That's why people say his situation feels tragic and avoidable all at once. And you can't ignore how the music industry plays into it too. King's been trying to carve out his own lane as an artist, but instead of focusing on building his catalog, most of the headlines around him are about fights, guns, or drama with the cops. That's the dangerous part. His image is becoming tied more to controversy than talent. Some industry insiders even said privately that labels might hesitate to back him because he looks too unpredictable. Right now, when your reputation is built on chaos instead of consistency, it can block the same doors your dad's career once opened for you. Then there's the family aspect. Being the son of T.I. isn't just about music. It comes with expectations, pressure, and constant comparisons. Fans expect him to carry himself like his dad, who turned his own mistakes into lessons and built a brand off wisdom. But instead of showing growth, King looks like he's repeating the very cycle T.I. warned him about. That dynamic alone has sparked endless debates. Is this a young man simply making bad choices? Or is it proof that growing up in the spotlight can backfire in the worst way? On top of all that, King's new role as a father changes the stakes. People can't stop asking how this will affect his son. Will the little boy grow up without his dad around if that sentence sticks? Or will this become the wake-up call that forces King to step up and finally break the pattern? The answers aren't clear yet, but one thing's for sure. The whole world is watching to see which path he chooses next. And for T, it's like watching history repeat itself. The same system he fought to survive now threatening to swallow up his own son. The painful part, deep down, Tip saw this coming. So don't get it twisted. This isn't just King Harris chasing headlines or going viral for the blogs. This is the real deal. We're talking about the very real possibility of prison time, the very real weight of consequences, and the ultimate test of T.I. as a father. Because if that judge stamps a 5-year sentence on King, this won't just be another messy moment online. It'll be a life-changing chapter carved into his story forever. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about King's situation? Is this the wake-up call he needs, or has the damage already been done? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because we're locked in on what y'all got to say. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next drop. And trust me, you'll want to stick around because the next video popping up on your screen is packed with even more celebrity drama you don't want to miss.